And in that time, Dos Anjos would lose to Eddie Alvarez. And I have got to go over some of the commentary from this because it's awesome. So, let's see here. So Eddie Alvarez beats Dos Anjos. He becomes the lightweight championship. In the post-fight interview. So in a post-fight interview, somebody asked Eddie Alvarez who he would want to fight next. And listen to this. So this is Eddie Alvarez.
A couple of interesting future matchups possible for you. Obviously, Khabib's up there. Also, Tony Ferguson if he wins his next fight. And Twitter's been blowing up. A lot of people want to see a Conor McGregor, Eddie Alvarez fight happen as well. I mean, it's very, very soon. I know you're just sort of relishing the title, but if you had to choose what's next, what would you go with?
I would ask Dana White, please, to give me an easier fight like Conor McGregor. I deserve that. I've been fighting the best guys, so I would like a gimme fight. So Conor, I'm more than welcome that. There's a lot of guys in the UFC who are good at one thing, and they get matched up stylistically well, and they make their way to the top without ever going against the best guys, the true best guys like Rafael Dos Anjos and the best guys in the division. They sneak their way around them, and they live off perception, not what really is. He's one of them.
So immediately after his Alvarez wins the lightweight championship, he's already smack talking on Conor McGregor. And it's funny because in a lot of interviews, like, Conor McGregor calls himself an elephant. He says, I never forget. I'm like an elephant. I never forget. And, of course, he's not going to forget this. So this is just such a blast. And now they build this up. This is a big, the lightweight championship. They build it up with the press for a while. And there's a pre-fight conference for Conor and Eddie. And when the conference begins, everybody's sitting up on stage at the table, and Conor's not there. And Eddie Alvarez gets all pissed off, and he's like, if my competition's not going to show up, why the heck am I here? And he gets up and he leaves the stage.
This question's for Eddie. Eddie, what do you think of Conor McGregor not being here?
I'm disappointed in the country of Ireland right now that this is their representative. This is your representative. Where is he? Where is he? I don't even have an opponent. I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? Yo, when he comes, you give me a call. I'm going. I can't fight by myself.
And a little while later, Conor shows up late, of course. He dances onto the stage. He steals Eddie's belt from his seat, grabs the mic, and yells, "Sorry I'm late, I just don't give a fuck!" In classic Conor. It's beautiful.
Sorry I'm late, I just don't give a fuck!
Conor, this question's for you, Conor. Where have you been? Conor McGregor.
Too fast. Look at that fucking stupid ass coat. My fucking belt. You can have that seat, boy. Come get it. Come get it. Take his little ass away. Okay.
Conor, while you were on your way here, Eddie said he was disappointed in the country of Ireland. What do you think about that?
I don't give a fuck what Eddie says. Who gives a fuck? The Irish are back. I run New York City. I'm a fucking pimp. Rocking Gucci mink. And without me, this whole fucking ship sinks.
And then that moves us on to the fight. So here we are. Conor McGregor, Eddie Alvarez. Just trying to get the date right again. November 12th, 2016, Madison Square Garden. And McGregor would win by a TKO 3 minutes and 4 seconds into the second round. McGregor takes home $3 million. Eddie Alvarez takes home $1 million. So he's just racking it up. So now at this point, McGregor is the double champ, he calls himself. And I gotta go over some classic Conor quotes here right after the fight. and I'll drop in the audio. So as soon as the fight's over, he's asked, he says, you're the first man to ever hold 2 titles. How does it all feel?
Lightweight champion of the world, Conor McGregor!
The first man ever to hold 2 titles simultaneously. How does this all feel to you?
I've spent a lot of time, Joe, slating everybody in the company. I've ridiculed everyone on the roster. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the fuck he wants. This is what I dreamed into reality. Oh, that looks good. That looks good. God bless.
Conor McGregor, congratulations.
Yes.
It's been an honor calling your fight, sir. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Conor McGregor, ladies and gentlemen.
And, of course, what did he have to say to his Irish fans? After the match, McGregor was quick to pay tribute to the traveling Irish fans who once again turned out in their thousands to support him. Thanks for everyone for coming out. I fucking love every one of you. I swear to God, you've traveled the world with me. There's a reason we're at the top of the game. Because of me and because of you. I love every single one of you. So this guy is just a god right now. A living legend to the Irish people. He is the double champ, as he calls himself. He's bringing in millions. He's buying himself mansion, Gucci furs, Lamborghinis, BMWs. He's got a whole big, huge building full of cars. He's got this huge garage filled with all these fancy cars and swimming pools, and he's living the life. He's living it, and he's loving it. So what's really interesting is you have to understand that a big part of McGregor's life is that at one point his sister gave him a book. So what I'm going to do is this is from the ladbible.com. So I'm going to read a little section here, and I'll put the link for the article. But there's a point in his life that Conor discovers the law of attraction. It changes him, and he lives it and breathes it every day. And we're going to drop in some audio clips to support that and show you how passionate he is about this, but also how it comes out in his braggadocious way of predicting fights, which I'll get into. So let me read this. Again, this is from the ladbible.com. At the age of 12, McGregor started kickboxing as a hobby, but it was not until 2006, in the midst of a plumbing apprenticeship, when he met future UFC fighter Tom Egan, that his true passion for MMA began. It was around that time that Conor's sister Erin introduced him to a book. The book, according to Bleacher Report, is the reason McGregor is the brash, outlandish, confident man we know today. Aaron McGregor had read Rhonda Byrne's The Secret, a book about staying positive to create life-changing events and creating happiness, health, and wealth. Mystic Max, that's Conor's one of Conor's nicknames, and we'll come back to Mystic Mac, but Mystic Mac's sister, a fitness model and bodybuilder, swore by the book and tried to push it onto Conor. For a while, he shunned the book, thinking the theme of the law of attraction was codswallop. A year or so later, after a bad day, Conor and long-term girlfriend Dee sat down and finally watched a DVD adaptation of the book. That's when things began to click. The ideologies of the book spoke to the 28-year-old. The realization that pulling your mind to things, concentrating and focusing on them would most likely lead to success resonated with Conor. He'd start small, putting his mind to things like getting the parking space closest to the shop door. When it continuously worked, this is when big things started to happen. And I think the article has it wrong when it said that he watched it at 28. In the chronology of things, that had to be when he was 18, not 28. So I think that's a typo. But it's, in summary, his sister tried to get him into this concept of the law of attraction, and she was trying to push this book called The Secret onto him, and he eventually watched a DVD adaptation of the book. And him and his girlfriend watched together, and they started living it. Small things, and they said at the beginning it would just be like they would be on their way to go shopping, and they would just visualize getting the prime parking spot. And sure enough, they said every time that they visualized it and believed it and saw it, they'd get there, and sure enough, there'd be the parking spot. So it started small with the parking spot thing, but they kept applying it to everyday life, and when it just kept working time after time after time, that's when Conor basically decided to begin dreaming big and visualizing things. And he has visualized his entire career. Everything that he's achieved, he said he saw it first. That he's living, that he knows that he's never stunned at his success because he already knew he was going to be successful because he saw it and he believed it first, and he worked for it. And it's really neat. So that's the concept that you have to understand about Conor McGregor.
I've always had visions of better. I've always visualized better, and in times of struggle. Like driving down in a banger of a car that I had to push start, I'd be still driving a soft top Bentley around beautiful California in my head, and lo and behold, now I am driving a beautiful soft top Bentley around California. So I always visualized good things. I always visualized victory, success, abundance. I visualized it all, and it's all happening.
Yeah, I don't just knock them out. I picked around, John. Yeah, I said this. I'm sure you're probably all thinking in your head, this guy is talking absolute dribble. He's not going to do what he says he's going to do. You're probably all sitting there thinking that. But now here we are again, and I done what I said I was going to do. I feed off this. I love this stuff. This is what gives me energy. Saying I'm going to do something. Putting it out there for the world to see. And then going out and doing it. There's no better feeling in the world than that. And it's as easy as that. Say what you're going to do and go and do it.
I knew I was going to be the person to bring martial arts to the public eye. And now it's happening. You know what I mean? There's two things I've learned from these past 7 months. Number one is that hard work pays off. And number two is that dreams come true. And that's what's happening.
At the end of the day, I already feel like that is mine. I already feel like that belt is mine. So eventually, one by one, I will get every single one of them until there is no one left. And then I will decide what to do from there. But the belt is already mine, I feel.
This is the law of attraction. I mean, you have to, in the struggle, you know, when things are going good and you visualize these good things happening, you visualize more good things happening, that's easy. What's not easy to do is when things are going bad and you're visualizing the good stuff. And that was what I was able to do. I was able to, you know, even though I was having these troubles at home, and even though I had no job, no security, you know what I mean, or whatever, didn't know what I was doing. If it didn't happen, it didn't happen, but I still was able to feel like it was. I still was able to go into a different, just like use my imagination, like a kid would use his imagination. I was basically just using my imagination.
Did you have faith maybe back then that your time would come and that you would be able to explode onto the scene as you had?
If I didn't, it wouldn't have happened. So I had to believe in it. I had to feel it. I had to have faith in it for it to happen. So you're damn right I did. You have a clear picture in your head of something is going to happen, and a clear belief in that it will happen no matter what. Then nothing can stop it. You know what I mean? It is destined to happen, and that's what happens. You know what I mean? It's perfect.
Does it feel the way you thought it would?
Yeah, it does. It feels beautiful. I dreamt this so much, so clearly, so precisely, and so frequently that it has manifested itself into reality. And that's what I am feeling right now. It's a dream come true. If you can see it here, and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen. So I see these shots, I see these sequences, and I don't shy away from them. A lot of times people believe in certain things, but they keep to themselves. They don't put it out there. If you truly believe in it, if you become vocal with it, you are creating that law of attraction, and it will become reality. All that matters is how you see yourself. If you see yourself as the king, you know what I mean? You see yourself with all the belts and all everything. And no matter what no one else says, as long as you see that and really believe in it, then that's what's going to happen. Who can tell you otherwise? Who says what way you see things? Who says what you see out of your eyes? If you limit your choices only to what seems possible or reasonable, you disconnect yourself from what you truly want. And all that is left is a compromise. To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream. Not only plan, but also believe.
I am